Yeah. Because I mean, like I think most of the apps, like on iOS in the US, most of the apps with a conversion rate of about 3% from install to paying subscriber. On average, also a lot of fluctuations, variations, but on average, let's say to generalize, 3%, at least 3%, up to like 5% for some of the better apps. And so we can move from 5% to 6% conversion rate, keeping the price point high, and add like a weekly compounding, like you're after the races.
Whoa, doubling the conversion is unheard of.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matei drops knowledge made of golden eyes. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jack up designs, worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matei, Felix, Shaka bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matei, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jacob's crafting realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
I don't think that's doable these days, but it's fine.
Welcome back to hello. Welcome back to another excellent 2.5 Gamers podcast episode where you can stay 2.5 steps ahead of the gaming industry. Today, after a very well received first episode on Genesis in our new segment where we cover a couple of app companies, we're doing part 2, and today we'll be covering probably the largest app company in the world, Bending Spoons.
Allegedly, we don't know about rounds because they have 10 million accounts, so it's hard to say. But
but one of the biggest, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And to help us get the facts right on this really unique company, we are joined by a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself, Darius?
Yeah. Thank you, Felix. It's great to be here. My name is Darius. I've been in the app industry for about a decade now. And I'm super excited to jump in. And we all in the app space, we look at Bending Spoons, and it's like one of the ultimate steps. If you want to manage hundreds of employees, that is a good way to go. And yeah, I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you've been working in a lot of apps as well, right? That are kind of competing with Bending Spoons, correct?
Yeah, I think, well, in the app space, there's a few categories that just print money. So we all go into the same categories. We end up all working in the same apps, essentially. But yeah, I started with an AI language learning company about 10 years ago, way before AI was anything similar to what it is today.
Cool.
Yeah. And actually, as a funny anecdote, it took us 3 years to build that product, and it still wasn't like technically completely finished and proficient. And a few months ago, we got together with my co-founders and we built the whole thing in one weekend using ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
So that's the advance of technology that happened in the last 10
Sorry,
years.
you were going for like an LLM style of an app or a different approach?
We were trying a lot of different approaches, but LLM wasn't in the state that it is now.
Okay. Yeah, just curious, like why this transition happened, as you said.
Also, that would be a good question for my CTO.
Technology. Jakub, technology happened in between like 10 years ago and now. So I guess
there are more intelligent people on my team to answer those questions. Yeah, so that was the first company. And then I was the first employee at Reflectly, which was the first like AI journaling company. One of the really we built the journaling category, scaled to about 20 million users. We acquired 12 companies in the first 3 years that I was there. During hyper growth phase, we're getting 10,000 installs per day with 4 people in the company, which was insane. I've never seen that before. And then, I exited that part and then became a hippie, went to travel the world, got bored, came back to Europe, and now opened a new app studio. And now I'm doing what Bending Spoons is doing.
Very good. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so exactly like that. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to have a look at Bending Spoon's portfolio, kind of how they do business, and also break down how they do UA. A little bit about Bending Spoons first.
But before we do that, my name is Matej Lančarič.
I'm Felix Broberg.
And I'm Jakub Remier.
And we
are your hosts.
You fucked up. You fucked it up. Okay. Anyway.
It can't always
be
your host.
Yeah, I know. But we are your hosts, so thank you very much. And funnily enough, Marius is from Slovakia. Felix now is outnumbered again, and now it's even more. But okay, bending spoons. Jokes aside, let's dive into bending spoons. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, sure. So a little background on Bending Spoons. So Bending Spoons was founded in 2013 by 6 co-founders after a failed app startup. So
you know where?
It was in Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. Nice.
Yeah, everyone loves Copenhagen. That's from Slovakia. It's like your guys' mecca.
I've lived in Copenhagen myself, and I loved it.
There you go.
See? Oh.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining this episode. Our sponsor, Fast Spring, has delivered D2C at scale for over 20 years. They power top mobile publishers around the world and are reliably fast-growing, profitable, and very financially secure. So FastSpring isn't just figuring out D2C on the heels of the recent VC investment. Their developer-first platform and deep gaming and payment expertise have helped democratize global commerce for over 2 decades. As no drama D2C partner with real-world experience at scale, FastSpring is a partner that you can trust with your players. The quickly launch a new web store, replace an existing D2C vendor, or just add redundant D2C vendor at fastspring.gg. Thank you very much, guys, for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to the content. Bye-bye.
So Bending Spoon's founding story is a little unique because they had no money. So the 6 co-founders made an agreement that they all would look for jobs, and whoever got the highest paying job would pay for rent and food for all the others while they worked on the business. So the one who got the highest paying job was CEO Luca Ferrari. Great name, by the way. He
even with
joined
the accent, amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he joined McKinsey, where he worked for 16 months, while the other founders developed simple apps for the app stores. They had some moderate success, but no breakthrough success.
And this is, by the way, like, what a shitty deal. It's the smartest guy that has to do the boring shit while everybody else is having fun, not paying rent and just working.
It's a great deal, huh?
Yeah, of course.
So after no breakthrough success, this is when they decided to buy their first app, a keyboard app, which they bought for $15,000. And they then rewrote the software, changed the design, and were able to drastically improve the revenue metrics. They then took the profits from this app and made the next purchase, which was larger, and they managed to turn it around for a bigger profit. So this laid the grounds for the Bending Spoons business model, which focuses on buying assets, overhauling them, and they describe it themselves as a mix between being a technology company and a private equity firm. The only difference
very
here,
close to Genesis, right? That sounds like them.
No. The key difference between Genesis and here is that they take a very long-term view and they never sell their assets. So
Genesis sells
keep
their assets?
all their assets. I don't know if they have actually, but
exactly.
I don't know. Darius, do you know? Yeah, do you know if Genesis sells assets
so.
as well, or
No, I don't think so. It's just I think that they don't just buy them, but they invest.
Genesis was like voodoo style
yes, exactly.
approach.
Yeah. So it's not exactly the same, but very similar.
Was Genesis building their own products from scratch as well?
Genesis was
but they were.
Yeah, this is the game industry model that we use during the hyper casual era, where you are pretty much financing the teams mainly, and they build you prototypes, and then you kind of run with them as much kind of shots on goal as possible. It's
but they built before they've done that.
It's
they
all external.
Built few apps on there, but they built something on their end as well.
Yeah. So this was wildly profitable for Bending Spoons and has been. And in 2024, the revenue is rumored to have surpassed $500 million. And it's also rumored that Bending Spoons is planning to go public soon. So I guess it's the first company kind of in this business model that is actually willing to go public.
My friend here. So Bending Spoons bootstrap. But in September 2022, they raised $340 million from investors. And this round attracted names like Ryan Reynolds or ex-Vimeo CEO or a former Google CEO, Eric Schmidt as well. So, and some Italian bankers. So, Italian bankers, yeah.
That sounds sexy.
I mean, And then they actually in early 2024 raised additional 155 at valuation 2.5 billion. So not bad.
What was the date of that last valuation? Sorry.
Early 2024.
Okay.
And apparently they said that like all of that money was used to do the acquisitions because they bought a lot of stuff in the last few years. So this wasn't like they're not burning, they're making cash. This was just to make the big acquisition, which I'm sure you're going to talk about what they bought. Because they're going outside of the app space as well. And if they do want to go for an IPO, and they talked about like the US listing, then I wonder if it makes sense to also diversify outside of the app store. Because then there's a question about like long-term feasibility with AI and with OpenAI announcing their own hardware next year. Who knows what the app store will look like in 5 years, if there will be one.
Yeah, very good point.
Just want to add one tidbit here. This model was actually already tried in the gaming industry. Maybe you have heard of things like Embracer or Stillfront, which are our very famous names here, which ended up horribly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
because
look,
whatever they're doing, they're pretty much just raising the value of their stock and buying the companies for the stock. And
for EBITDA,
at some point, it pretty much went all crumbling down as a Ponzi scheme. So that's
yes,
like
but
TLDR.
Here...
Even though they own like the right to Lord of the Rings and stuff like that now. But yeah, it went very, very bad.
But more we talk about apps, it's actually, I'm seeing way more differences between games and the business model versus apps and their business model and how it actually works and how it actually is more consumer driven rather than just like gamers. It's slightly
because
different.
It's utilities. Like it's not,
yes.
Most of these things are utilities. It's not like a game that you need to compete with some other Chinese company which copies you 1-to-1 and then what?
Sure, but then in this, like all of these different categories, they have millions of clones, obviously. And it's like some of them are making millions and you have never heard of these apps before. And you look at it like no UA. Like, what the fuck is happening? And then you open TikTok, YouTube, Reel, Instagram, it's all over the place. So it's slightly different business model, but still like all these subscription-based offerings. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So I'm very glad that we are actually talking about it.
And a lot of the like, not just utilities, but a lot of the apps have like a really long, LTV. People will just use something like you'll use the same alarm app for fucking 10 years, right? Or whatever that might be, or like fitness app. Or my favorite category is all these trackers, like any tracking app, something that people use for years and years and years.
Yeah, and especially in January.
So January is a good one for us. I know companies that'll do 40% of their annual revenue comes in January alone. If you're having like fitness and some of these and
New Year's resolution apps.
Like we saw, our own apps will triple in January, but not doing anything.
Yeah, there's seasonality.
Super interesting. And I remember you told me one time before there is about how Bending Spoon hires. It's also very different from pretty much any company that I've actually heard of.
Yeah. So they have a very rigorous process. And there are also a lot of interesting changes they made. And I think they're very confident in their own team. So when they did some of these big acquisitions, Evernote and WeTransfer and a bunch of the other ones, one of the first things they do is fire everybody. That's a big way to lower costs because these are based in San Francisco and Amsterdam, other places. So you fire everybody and then bring it in-house. And you still pay really well, but it's cheaper in Italy and Milan than most of the other places.
That's what I read. Transfer bought the companies, like laid off 75% of people. Bye.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean they were giving out
for them, obviously.
Yeah, they're giving out, I think, pretty like comfortable packages, like 16 weeks of salary, 1 year of health insurance, all this stuff that like, pretty cushy transition. But of course, it's not ideal.
Yeah, but if you compare San Francisco or US-based salaries and then Italy,
the model wouldn't work this way.
Exactly. It's no way. Like that's why you see so many, at least gaming companies coming out of Turkey or Vietnam or, well, not really US that much because it's really expensive. It's really expensive.
We have like Ukraine, Belarus. Yeah, Turkey is huge, obviously.
Exactly.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so in their hiring process, it's... So I was reading somewhere that expect to do about like 5 to 10 hours of work before you speak to a human during the process. So they have like tests. They call it tests. They call it tasks. But it's tests and a lot of like heavy lifting you have to do just to qualify to go to an interview round and actually talk to somebody.
Unpaid.
In person. Unpaid, yeah. And a lot of it, so I haven't seen the actual test, but it seems like a lot of it is kind of problem solving unrelated to your specialties and your experience. And so it's all about, trying to figure out how you can resolve problems and on the spot, on the fly. I don't know how they hedge against ChatGPT and all of this stuff with like take home tasks and homework, but that's their process. At the beginning, like just top of the funnel, they don't do any like open applications. You have to have a specific role to apply for. But it's such a big company, they have so much inbound that this works really well for them.
Nice. I mean, so it's like you want to work for them.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, it's just one of the more exciting ones. Somebody described it as Goldman Sachs of Milan. They pay really well and they expect really high performance.
Okay.
And I do say in all the communication, like, yeah, this is not going to be easy. You're going to be pushed and like really going to challenge yourself. This is not to fuck around. But if you're ready for that, and they do pay like, like north of 100K a year salary in Milan, you're a king for that.
Oh yeah.
Or queen.
Do we know the headcount estimate or at least some kind of number here?
I think 450 employees, if I remember correctly.
I also remember one of our mutual friends, Darius, told us that also if you're a graduate hire, so if you're out of university, if you get through the application process, you're actually not assigned or you're not applying for any specific job, but you basically start and then you choose what role you want to do after being in the company for a while, which is very
right. So that's like the internship program. Yeah. So they have like 3 months, 6 months internships. That's for graduate. It seems like their strategy in general is not, I mean, they have, of course, experts in industry, but I think majority of the workforce is like fresh graduates coming up. They can get them for cheaply. And also like the scaling of the salaries, like if you have some experience, you make about double of what they offer when you're coming in as a graduate, which like makes sense.
But this is isn't this like the KPMG model, like the Big Four model? That you work to the bone in the beginning, and then you get better, and if you survive, of course.
Yeah. I think if you're hungry and ambitious, this is like a great way to go. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and you'll learn a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think starting point is a great school, I guess. Yeah,
they don't have too many like layers of management. It seems like it's structured around specific products, and so you get a kind of a fairly small team work on one product. Dive deep, cross-functional, all of that. I think it's a great way to start.
And I'm assuming you must have tried to poach a couple of these people, right? In your career.
Yes. But it's really tough to compete with their salaries if you're like a regular startup, not $2.5 billion evaluation company. I think that one thing to offer them is like, look, you can be like one of the founders or early, you get equity and be like a bigger part of something drive, but they seem to have a pretty low churn and there's not a lot of people exiting or kind of laying around. They claim, I saw the stat, they claimed less than 1% unwanted churn.
Mm-mm.
The unwanted part makes me wonder, like, okay, do you just fire a bunch of people? And
exactly. What's the wanted part? Like, come on.
Wanted churn.
Yeah. You want to leave? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think
I haven't succeeded in hiring anybody from there, but yeah, there's a great pool of talent.
Yeah.
I guess that's also like much more harder to get like capital running compared to like Valley or somewhere there in the US. If these people they get the know-how and then they want to go independent, I guess it's not that easy from Europe than from US if they would be exiting some Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, because in Europe you have slightly different laws. It's like
you don't found in Europe. That's the
So, Jakub, I think we've been dancing around the topic, but do you want to share a screen and show off their beautiful portfolio so we can see actually what it looks like?
When you're starting to do so, I just want to go through like the high-profile acquisitions they've made. So Evernote, we already talked about. There's Filmic, which is a popular professional mobile video camera app, whatever that means. Mosaic Group, bought assets from Mosaic Group from IAC for 100 mil.
Weather app.
Climb, yes. Robot Killer, Spam, which is a spam call blocker, and then iTranslate. And then Meetup, Hopin/StreamYard. Okay, I used actually StreamYard, which is a streaming service when I was on the Google webinar. There's Issue, WeTransfer, Brightcove, and Komoot, which is outdoor navigation for hikers and cyclists. And which was the last app was acquired in March 2025. Okay.
That's nice.
So they're claiming they do about 5,000 companies in the top funnel of the acquisition. And obviously like they talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then like less than 1% makes it to like the actual like conversation stage. And this is something that also this like 5 years ago, maybe, if you had an app that makes like some amount, nothing huge, but if you just had an app that makes consistent money, there was very little people reaching out. Like at Reflectly, we did a bunch of acquisitions early on and fairly easy, and we could like triple the revenue in a few months just by doing some optimization on the paywall, on the onboarding, and nothing really changing the code, just some few things here and there, without even driving UA, literally just on the onboarding. And that was easy. And now those same people, the same founders, they get messages like every day from Bending Spoons like people and private equity and all of these. Like the market has shifted significantly. Demand for apps is huge now.
Yeah, for sure. We also see that in our sector, whereas a lot of people are actually switching from gaming to apps because that expertise translates to some point.
I wouldn't say changing or switching to apps.
I've seen some friends literally just go apps.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because the monetization is kind of the same.
Yeah, but it's like people think it's way easier, but I don't think that really applies. Like,
They get to get paid well.
I mean, then say they get paid well. I mean, it's slightly different motivation.
Like we had that problem with Netflix, and Netflix was poaching gaming people with 1 million a year salaries. And like, where did they get that?
Okay.
I don't know, Darius, did you think gaming like translates to app development? Because it's quite different, right? Or what's your experience on that?
It's interesting because I think we look at gaming of like, oh, gaming is a few steps ahead of us, and then we look at some of the obviously like gamification, but a lot of the monetization models and like paywalls and onboarding, a lot of stuff use events. And I was listening to you guys last episode, you're talking about how apps are a few steps ahead in some of the
on the
areas
marketing
as well.
point of view, that is absolutely true. Absolutely true, because people are definitely from the gaming industry, at least I'm borrowing the trends, because it's usually the flow. It's e-commerce, apps, games. Everything that starts on like e-commerce and apps. Like UGC came to fucking gaming like 3 years late.
Yeah, well, usually it's like porn, e-commerce, apps, games.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Yeah.
That's where everything starts.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but regarding monetization and like, let's say, design or progression is the other way around, where it's like games, apps, and that's the thing. For instance, that's my case, where like most of my non-gaming clients are apps that are like, can you help us with progression? Can you help us with recurring spending, gamification systems, all these other things, which is completely natural to gaming people. Whereas I show them some like gacha, for instance, like random drop chance loot boxes, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. We never thought of that. So
yeah, but it's not really applicable to every app out there.
It's not. But some of those get to be Duolingo.
Obviously, but it's rather rare than like it's suitable for everything.
Yeah, of course.
But we do see that, like, I think a lot of people where it's not suitable in the product, people will do it in the onboarding and in a paywall. So I'll see sometimes like paywall pops up. If you close the paywall, then you get like a little spinning wheel. Oh, you got 40% off the annual plan. You won this box, and like that seems to happen as well.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Okay. So back to portfolio regarding downloads. Do I get it right that there are multiple accounts, not just the Bending Spoons account for the apps? Because that would be my guess. Or because Sensor Tower is not that good always with tracking the like scale of these giant conglomerates. Because I see only like 200 apps on this one, so I'm guessing there's definitely more.
Yeah, they probably have more accounts, but we don't know what the accounts are.
Yeah, exactly. So just wanted to put this as a disclaimer that this is not all that you see.
My friends at Codeway, they have many accounts that they publish under. That's not their main one.
Yeah, you have also the Sensor Tower. There's the Bending Spoons kind of tab, and it says 278 apps.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is a company hierarchy, and then you can actually check. It's Bending Spoons, Easy Tiger app, Fonts, Evernote, the Meetup LLC, and all of these that I guess that they bought.
But those are the companies here in the list.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure like they have some other accounts as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so
and
so
a lot
these
of
are
people
like the main ones.
And a lot of people in the app space, like if you start to do a little bit of gray hat stuff,
shady
you'll have a couple accounts. One gets locked down. You never put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
I've heard horror stories of people doing like 7 figures, and Apple shuts you down for one day to another. And you have there's nothing you can do. You can't reply. You can't explain yourself. Like, you're done.
Yeah, you're fine.
This is very different to gaming, because gaming is always usually just one account and the other accounts are just like hidden soft launches.
Because
maybe.
in games, nobody does the gray/black hat stuff.
Because they don't dare to.
Well, wait. No, I take that back. Nobody in Europe or US or
West.
that part. West, yes. From the other side,
From Asia.
It's very, very much happening. Just people don't know about it. Let's stay there.
Nixpool's main account portfolio. Remini, the AI photo enhancer, is pretty much the bulk of the downloads now. For last month, it was pretty much 10 million out of 13 or 14 million.
It's the most downloaded app from the portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. And then revenue-wise, which is only IP revenue, not ad revenue on top of it, because...
No. Climb, which is app we're going to look at later, actually has ad revenue.
That's what I'm saying, that this is not counted in, because this is only IP revenue, not ad revenue, because we don't see ad revenue in Sensor Tower. Is doing something like 26, 27 mil. Could be more or less, 20, 30% definitely. Yeah, there was some event in July. You know this event?
Look, Remini introduced Make Me Look Younger filter. This helped Remini reach 10 million downloads.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's
fucking
the
hell
there.
Jesus Christ. I'm just...
Yeah.
So
this
is
20
amazing.
million in a month, basically.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of. And then...
And you know where this app is coming from, actually? Guess.
You tell me.
Beijing.
Beijing? Oh, really?
Yes.
China.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even need to talk about, like, everything is coming from China, period. Thank you very much for listening. See you next time.
Into the category genre, like we can look also there, because that's also pretty interesting, but
all
just
Chinese.
Don't finish the portfolio. Yeah,
sure.
So revenue is increasing from year to year, so it's still scaling up. As I said, this is not the whole picture. Regarding the apps themselves, you can see them here. This is their IP revenue, the 4 apps we'll be talking mainly today, which again, all of these are 150 million plus, all of them. Like Splice is 250 million, lifetime revenue, Remini 230. Climb, again, everything without ad revenue. Regarding downloads, yeah, Remini is like past 500 million, and then all the other ones are 100 million plus minus. Yeah, so this is the revenue, which again, Remini is the big one, and then Splice is doing 120k a day, Climb K, Evernote 70k a day, IP only, and downloads.
Looking at the downloads, do you think they're using a UA funding partner?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But if they don't, I mean, there's a PVX Partners, guys. So if you want to scale your app business or your business in general, you should call PVX Partners, because they can help you grow your app as well, because it's a most effective credit line for marketing. So go to pvxpartners.com and tell them 2.5 Gamers sent you. So pvxpartners.com, the most effective credit line for marketing.
Yeah, so for Darius to know, we run ambush ads, so you don't know whatever he says if it's an ad.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed.
Yeah, so back to the
I might sneak in a couple myself, by the way.
Yeah,
for sure. Go ahead.
Of course, no problem.
Yeah, so the revenue-wise, downloads-wise, Remini is pretty much taken all of the traffic here, whereas it's like 300k a day, and then all the other ones are, I guess, on back burner. If we go to active users, as Felix likes to always do, because I guess that's the most important chart.
When you're talking about the revenues,
but not this, yeah,
the whole growth, so they claim that they went from 90k revenue per week to almost 600, which you've talked about. They say they run Apple search ads, or like in the research, like their Apple search ads targeting hundreds of keywords, competitor names, obviously, and they're trying to capture like the viral moment. So anytime there is a viral thing happening, they're loading all the keywords around that, which helps like hell. I mean, it's insane, it's crazy, but works quite well.
By viral moment, you mean what, like ChatGPT going Ghibli style?
For example. Something like
or like, I don't know, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock during the Oscars. I don't know, like things like that.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, it's so clever. We definitely don't do this. We don't do this in gaming at all.
Yeah, we don't do.
It's so good.
Do you think they just have like a bunch of Gen Z on TikTok, like looking at what's happening every day?
100%.
For sure.
I mean, honestly, like with apps and the growth in the apps business, if you don't have anyone like looking at TikTok 24/7, you're done. You are done. I mean, I've started like kind of doing a little bit of experiments here and there and like diving into this exact kind of industry. And TikTok is like the best growth engine for apps. Oh my God.
Yeah, even in games, we had periods where people were literally slapping the videos from TikTok into their onboarding funnel, like save the dog video when it happened. Like some games literally like cut it into levels and put it into their onboarding funnel, change all the icons, store screenshot everything to save the dog, and just skyrocketed like 8 million a month.
Jeez.
Yeah. So even here, I have this like the growth fueled by a mix of the user-driven viral effects and the marketing. So they have this before-after kind of feature, and many guys posted this on TikTok, especially. So it was just viral. There was a moment mid 2023, and like trend on TikTok using Remini's baby filter on adult photos. So you remember all these like people trying. Oh my God, this is how you would look, or this is your adult photo, and this is how kind of you look like as a baby. Insane. Rank number 1 immediately in App Store. Thank you very much. So you can't even imagine like how much money they've earned only on this. It's like
I look at the organic search terms on the App Store like a couple times a week. And every day I find something like some app or such term goes from nothing to like huge spikes in search volume. And sometimes it lasts like a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And the ones that can monetize on that very early on, like do really well.
That's
laugh all the
millions.
Way to the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
So regarding the app's positions, so I guess Splice and Remini are the ones worth mentioning. What's their position? So Remini is on the 3rd spot in the photo editing category after PicasArt and Meitu, which I guess are Chinese. That would be my guess.
Probably.
On download charts is actually on the second spot there. And then regarding Splice, it's the second most grossing video editor after CapCut. But
I mean,
CapCut is
come
first
on.
by a long shot because
you see, it's TikTok, man. Like, come on, you can't.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Of course.
It's like no.
So that's what we want there. Yeah, Felix, do you want me to go through the actual insides of the apps, or like what would you like?
Yeah, we can just show off the 4 apps that we wanted to talk about, and I guess maybe Darius, since you actually have a lot more experience, you can tell us what's going on with all these different ways of monetizing users and what's like the tricks here that we're not seeing with our uneducated eye.
By the way, this is the common denominator, the modifier for all of the apps basically, where you have this kind of onboarding funnel, which is usually like select your preferences or something, and ends with this window pretty much. And this window is like, I think, one of the magic tricks that's been around here, where you have yearly, weekly subscription, not sure yet, enable free access. Once you click enable free access, it goes into payment. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But there's this very small X button either on left or right side, and this is the same for all the apps basically. And only if you click this, you get to the free version of the app themselves. So that's there.
Some of the apps, they don't even have the free option. You have the free trial, and then you need to kind of unsubscribe afterwards.
I really like these things because, for instance, Splice, this was like, it looks like this, like, you know, is the video editing thing, and I was like, because this is emulator, so I don't have time to add media into it. So I went on YouTube, but like, how does it look? And like, it's great and everything, and went through the like actual experience. It looks like Adobe streamlined version. Yeah. And watch the first comment in the video. It's the best one. I love how importing a video to your photos is either be a fucking paywall.
I mean, what would you expect? Seriously, like, what would you expect? It's either that, or you just need to watch an ad.
Yeah, of course. So
but it blows me away, like the amount of people that expect shit to be free.
Yeah.
On the App Store, like we get dude, like 90% of my negative comments on all of my apps is like, oh, this is not free. I was like, well, do you think the fucking app made itself?
Tell me something about it in games with that free to play. Yeah, so that's there. Regarding Remini, looks pretty good. Like, if I understand correctly, it's pretty much like photo enhancer with some AI functionality that's been added during the AI hype. So lots of these things are, if we go into the
Is
actual...
that you?
Oh, it's not me. If we go into the actual app, it actually crashed my emulator because there were so many options that were loading, because there's lots of functionality that's there that are AI driven. So something is enhancement for static images, something is just like the normal stuff that you would expect to see in Photoshop, and then you have a lot of these, funky things which are. Well, we go to the menu. Yeah, there we are.
Gonna crash again.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, so stuff like portraits, but then you have bring memories to life, which is basically image to video functionality from stuff like Link or...
Wait,
Yeah,
stop. Wait, hold on that payment wall. I want to see what's happening.
I'm gonna go back there if you want. No worries.
Of course, I mean, the real life memories.
Yeah, don't even need to click.
It's almost 10 million apps are doing the same thing.
Yeah, so here's the payment wall again. I think all of those have the same setup, whereas you're very, very limited in functionality that you can do, and then for subscription you can pretty much have
they
it.
have their own template for this.
Yeah.
That's how they're so successful. Because if you take the app and then you apply
Genesis
your
had the
template,
same thing, if I
exactly.
understand this. Like
your
that's the
template,
same,
then you suddenly make way more money.
That's
so this
Playtika version.
This paywall, I mean, these paywalls look quite different on the phone than they do on the emulator, but the general idea is the same. And this theme of this template has like recently become popular, and people have been talking about it for recently. Like the last year, this has become the best optimization model. And actually, in my studio, we're converting all of our apps to the same exact model. We have the weekly, that's pretty expensive. It tends to be around like $7 to $10 a week. And then you have the annual with a 3-day trial we can optionally enable. That's about like whatever, $40, $50 a year, $60. And you try to push people onto the weekly actually, because you get the recurring revenue from the weekly. That tends to be a really good monetization model. We've been running tests a bunch of our apps. It's like in the short run, in the first month, they look very similar in terms of the ROI and what's the LTV. But in the long run, the weekly just really compounds and does amazing work. It actually has become so popular that now, we use like Revenue Cat and Adaptee and Superwall to
all the apps kind of tools.
Yeah,
that
we
none
have
of
like
these
3
people know.
Yeah, all of us, we use 3 tools basically for Paywall, Revenue Cat, Adaptee, and Superwall. And this Paywall has become so popular that now it's a default template on Superwall, for example.
Nice. Okay.
So we're actually doing.
I need to
like
check Superwall.
It's a one click to move all our apps to the same thing.
Okay, that's interesting. So
that's
exercises in behavioral psychology, pretty much.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I think most of the apps, like on iOS in the US, most of the apps with a conversion rate of about 3% from install to paying subscriber. On average, also a lot of fluctuating variations, but average, let's say to generalize, 3%, at least 3%, up to like 5% for some of the better apps. And so we can move from 5% to 6% conversion rate, keeping the price point high, and add like a weekly compounding, like you're after the races.
Whoa, doubling the conversion is unheard of.
Oh, hello. Here I am. I have something very important to say. This episode is brought to you by Vibe.co. Have you ever thought about TV ads and how they are just for massive brands with multi-million budgets? Yeah, not anymore. With Vibe.co, you can launch CTV ads on Hulu, Roku, Tubi, you name it, in minutes. It's that simple. Totally self-serve. And yes, it actually drives real business results. So over 5,000 brands are already using it. So maybe it's your turn. Check out Vibe.co. That's vibe.co, Vibe.co, and enjoy. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the episode. Also, in terms of the LTV and the time frame, is it 3-6 months that you kind of see it, the lifetime of the user, or is
You
it
mean ROAS?
not ROAS, like the actual like the lifetime, not value, but like how long the users are staying within the app. Because obviously without the annual, like if you do weekly or monthly, it was like 6 months, 9 months, or
yeah. I mean, like this fluctuates quite widely.
Sure.
Like for the annual, it tends to be pretty standard. We see in the annual, the renewal rate will be around like 30%. At least 20% of people will forget and they'll just renew.
Yeah, exactly.
30% up to 40% if you're doing quite well. That's on the annual. And then the monthly and weekly, like, yeah, it kind of swings wildly. Like on the monthly, you could have like around 6%-ish. On the weekly, really, like, I can't confidently say one number.
No, of course, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, Jakub, you don't really need to even look at the retention. It's just, it's different kind of.
Yeah, I know it's different model, but
model,
like
exactly.
just curious to me.
A lot of people,
this is going to look like shit. Yeah.
We don't even measure retention. It's not a metric we look at for a lot of us. For some, it matters, but a lot is just like, it's the renewal rate on the subscription that really drives everything.
Okay. What's like the other North Star metrics you are going for, like KPIs?
The biggest one is just the renewal rate. And then it's obviously like the price points at which you can convert. So like the average revenue per user and average revenue per subscriber. And then conversion rates, like conversion from install to start trial and start trial to paying subscriber.
Okay. So basically a much faster bucket than the games industry.
What is the gaming KPIs they look at?
Retention for sure. Like it's much harder to kind of tack on retention because you're looking at top games having like 20% day 30 retention, and then users need to stay. You need to have very good live ops, meaning like recurring content that keeps them spending, because our LTVs can reach thousands of dollars. Pretty much, we don't care about some subscription is just some kind of afterthought somewhere there. You have gacha systems, usually loot boxes that can drive, like for instance, my favorite game, which I'm playing, did yesterday 1.5 million a day spike on a new gacha, just because of that, out of just like few thousands of users. So that's there.
I think that's one major difference, is that in the apps industry, we don't have whales. So like if we have you have the higher end, you have like a $40 subscription.
My question would be not if you have whales, but like, do you even have the depth of the economy for the whale to kind of manifest itself?
We don't have the options for it. Like really, we don't have the pricing and the monetization.
Because
like we have one subscription on annual.
You take something like, I don't know, Clash of Clans, the economy is something like 100K plus, and you still not at like top level still, and you spend already $100,000.
That's insane.
So, yeah, that's normal for games. We have games, the biggest ones, like the Whiteout Survivor or Kingshot, the ones ads you're seeing everywhere pretty much. We have infinite economies where it's based on destruction of property. So what you have bought is being destroyed by other players. So there's infinite spending going on.
Let's get back to betting spoons.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah. 4.5. Yeah.
I mean, in our best case scenario for us, when we look, what we would consider a whale is somebody who gets a weekly subscription and then keeps it for a year. Like that's a whale for us.
Sure. But like it's the other side of different coin, because again, we have the problem with UA and distribution. The apps are that's their forte here. So
I think we can borrow a lot of things from this side of the business, but people are just not used to see this. It's not a lot of work, but it's a different type of work. And these days, UA managers are lazy, so they won't do it. They just spend all the money the company has. But when you're a small company, you don't have the money, then you need to be very creative. And then how creative you can get is all the different kind of organic ways of doing stuff. Not so easy, but if you know what you are doing.
You could honestly just get on TikTok, open 10 accounts, post 10 times a day to each account, and you're going to make it. It just requires the work.
Mate, you want to take the screen with UA or?
I can.
Or Felix wants something else.
Actually, I actually wanted to ask one last question.
Yeah, you are here? Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to ask one question actually. Views and ratings for these apps, right? What's the story there? Like, because I overheard a conversation that you were having at one of our breakfasts, how you essentially don't even take the bad reviews, or like there's a lot of tricks you guys do there.
Well, we can report bad reviews that don't align with some of the guidelines. So it says the review has to talk about the app specifically or some stuff within the app. I'm trying to report all the ones that just like I have a bunch of bad comments that just say this is not free. So my claim is like this is not about the app. This is just
so
silly.
shoot down 1-star reviews this way.
Yeah, like so that's one way. But something that's happening, like the kind of standard in reviews was like, okay, when you have the wow moment in the app, like when you deliver value, you show the review prompt. And then we're like, you know what? Let's move it. Let's show it right after the paywall, after the onboarding, before they even see the product, because they just subscribe. Like they just want to get in there, so they'll click on whatever. And so that worked. And then like the reviews went up like X, and the ratio of negative to positive stayed the same. So like, okay, our volume rate. And then we're like, wait a second, let's even put it before the paywall. So not just subscribers, but everybody fucking sees the review prompt. And Apple doesn't mind, apparently. And we're like, now we have review prompts in the onboarding.
Have you also tried review filtering of like 2 buttons, like 5-star and 4 stars? It's like 4-star goes to feedback, 5-star go to store and stuff like that.
No, that's Apple doesn't like that because that's like manipulation.
You like to do that all the time here in the games industry.
You know, you incentivize the 5-star rating and it's fine. It's like you need to take it down before you are considered for featuring by Google or Apple, but then you can bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is like we'll do like we'll prompt them with a screen that kind of shows them like, oh, we're a small indie dev team. Here's a picture of 2 people that are
so we beg for review.
And like we beg for review, and then we use like emotional manipulation to get the good reviews. That sometimes work. There's another strategy of like and I don't know how this actually well works, something I've been trying. So there's the website appadvice.com, and they have apps gone free portion of the website. So every day they feature a couple of apps, and then you make a deal with them. So you make the app free for a day, and they'll feature you. And we did it one of our fitness apps, and we got 10,000 installs in a day. So you don't get the revenue because it's free, but we obviously like we forced the revenue prompt down their throat. And so we got a couple 100 5-star reviews. I'm still waiting to see, and this was a few weeks ago, so I'm still waiting to see how like the Apple red flag algorithm, if they'll flag some of it, I'll remove it. But so far, it seems like we got a shit ton of 5-star reviews, and they're staying there, and they're all in the US. So this is one way to like really spike up. You sacrifice one day of revenue for a couple of 100 5-star reviews. That's worth it.
That's worth it. Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Felix, so anything else you want to for me to
that's
share?
Pretty much it. Let's get onto UA and see how these guys are getting their users.
Sure. I mean,
it got me really curious.
Yeah.
I mean, in gaming, all the latest UA rave is AI stuff, basically.
I mean, we're going to talk about Remini, so it's exactly the same. I mean, look, so if you go to the
AI app, but I mean, like,
yeah, but still. Also, again, as I said, like this is not everything that we see. It's like this is the paid UA stuff, right? So nothing else than TikTok and Facebook and a little bit of Google, but it's like majority of the apps. How it works is you make all the money on iOS. On Android, it doesn't really matter. 8% revenue, US. iOS, thank you very much. What UA options you have? Facebook, TikTok, and if you are savvy enough, Integral, AppLovin, and all the ad networks. But in app space, people don't really know unless they have some gaming experience before. They don't really know like AppLovin is actually suitable for apps, but I know some of the companies already kind of going in that direction. But again, we can check all the different creatives and like what exactly they are running, but then like this is not exactly like the whole story, and then I'm going to show you afterwards like what the actual whole story is. Exactly what we talked about, like it's that's it. I mean, you don't really need anything else. You don't really need anything else. Use AI for all this. Try it, correct. No, thank you very much. It says basically everything, right? What is the all app about? I want to say game, but this is app. Obviously. And Jesus Christ. Sorry. Do I still have the sound on or no?
No, it's off.
Okay, good. You before after, right? So that's the beauty part of the whole app.
Like at the end of the day, this is all quite simple. Like it's just about like volume of testing on the creatives and whoever can get there first like wins. The copycat element is also huge. So like what a lot of companies a lot of us will do, like we'll watch, like every day we'll check the Facebook ads library and these tools for whatever was ran yesterday, and then we'll see the best performing. We'll just recreate it and run it and do the same thing essentially.
Yeah,
so
that's what
like,
that's what we discussed.
These strategies are also not like, there's no way to defend.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what we discussed with the Chinese developers. You know, here's the brief. Just look at whatever all the competitors and other guys were running yesterday. Just do it today. That's exactly
normal
way
of business.
Yeah, normal way of business, exactly.
It just works really well. Like I remember at Reflectly, I would turn on 200 creatives in the morning. By noon, I would see that about 90% are underperforming, so I'd kill those.
Yeah,
and then after lunch break, I'd have 5 to 10 creatives that are doing really well. Put all of the budget behind it, go all in, and then you would find like one that'll last for months that are performing well.
Yeah. So again, it's volume. It's just pure volume, nothing else. And you see, like it's 11 seconds, all the different kind of images, exactly what the app does, right? So nothing really that different.
It's so simple.
Can you delete the tab instead, Maciej?
Oh, so yeah, sure. I asked if there is the actual.
And this was very close to something like coming from Top Girl game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Look, yeah. Hello. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's see what do we have here again. Oh, there's the old photo. Bring back your old photo back to life. Sure. Thank you very much.
That's so loud. You're gonna have to mute that.
What?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, really? I mean, I just turned off the whole. Anyway, okay. So I would shut down this and then start actually sharing something else, which is the TikTok fun. Because this is where the whole kind of magic happens. Not on Facebook or on like paid UA. Obviously, it's the combination of both, but you usually start here. And like Dario said, you create hundreds of accounts and you start spamming them with videos. And then suddenly you create like a very big snowball effect with let's call it organic traffic. But it's not organic. I mean, let's call it misattributed stuff. And look, all of these videos, they would get thousands of views and hundreds of thousands of views. This guy had like 2 million likes, so I'm pretty sure like it's a very big amount of views. And imagine this: you create 10 different accounts and you start doing all of this. It's just insane. And in the US, suddenly you have so many organic installs coming from this. Then which translates to the revenue right away because of all the paywall kind of tricks that we saw. I mean, it's perfect. And then like this is just the baseline where you start. You have Instagram Reels and you have also Shorts. I mean, this is way more powerful because you get way more views, obviously. But still, if you compound all of these together, perfect baseline. And then on top of this, you start running UA. I mean, where is the limit? Where is the limit?
Yeah, the really special thing about TikTok, like the organic discoverability is incredible because the algorithm is fundamentally different from Instagram. On Instagram, you can only get exposed to people who follow you most of the time. On TikTok, you can have 0 followers. It's about the content. And if you post it, like I've seen accounts with 0 followers, first video, bam, million views. And like, you're done.
Exactly. And you're fine.
What percentage is Apple search ads usually of like marketing spend? It must be really big in the app space, right?
So, I mean, I can't tell you like a percentage for the industry. Apple search ads is the easiest to start with because you don't have to have creatives. You just put in the keyword and you're good to go. The thing is, it's very, very competitive because it's so easy to start with. And so I'll see like the cost per install will go like $30 for a fitness app, which makes no sense.
Exactly.
You're competing with Better Me and all these guys. So if you go like, I've seen some stuff where like we'll do like hyper niche apps based on a keyword that goes viral. So some of like our strategy is I look at these trending keywords a couple times a week, and every once in a while I'll find a trend that's not a specific app, but some generic trend that went viral on TikTok. And then we'll quickly, like we'll build an MVP in a week, we'll put it up there, and then on top of it, I'll put search ads to make sure everybody who goes to look for it then like gets the app. We rank #1 in like 3 days, and then if the trend stays, you're good to go and you're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens, but you might have seen better me. Like a few weeks ago, there was a trend with like action figure stuff on ChatGPT, which you can do it like for free. Just one guy saw the trend, built an app, and he did he built the app in a couple of days, and he did like 80K in profit that month just from doing it quickly enough. Just a single dude.
Enough. Yeah, easy. And then you have also the same thing here. Honestly, it's not exactly the same, but you have all these 300K views. Obviously, this is not exactly the Remini app, but still, still funny enough. So all of the shorts, thousands of views. Some of these, of course, not as big, but this is all you need. And if you have hundreds of these, as we discussed, I think with someone in one of our other episodes, you have hundreds of these, like smaller and like mid-size kind of shorts. Like suddenly you have thousands of installs, and you haven't even run any types of UA, and you can automate this even now. That's insane.
The thing is, like the paid UA for apps has been like becoming more competitive and more difficult and more expensive every month for like the last 10 years. Like the reason why Calm became a billion-dollar company is because they discovered sleep stories, which is their number one feature. Like it was better than meditations. And at the same time, Instagram story ads just became a format. We didn't have story ads available on Instagram. And when this feature placement fit happened, it like exploded, and suddenly they had like $1 billion in revenue. That's the timing. You couldn't do the same thing now because it's just way more competitive. And especially in the last 6 months, as you guys know, with all the AI stuff, we used to have to like pay the creators and do all the logistics with the influencers, the micro influencers, and all the content. And now you can just generate like 1,000 videos an hour, and it's so flooded. It's become very, very difficult to compete in some of the bigger categories.
Yeah, we can tell you something about the UA competition in games.
I mean, yeah, sure, but still. But yeah, it wasn't like this before in apps. Like now, yeah. And also it's the biggest big part in the whole app UA is just actually working with the creators and the influencers. And then you can use obviously like all of these like videos from, let's say, Instagram Marketplace. You can use them in your UA campaigns. So you don't really need to create like your own videos. But you see, like you work with 10 different creators, and then you see like 1 or 2 are really getting lots of views, which is kind of like pre-qualifying the video as like the creative win. You put it into campaigns, boom, you have creative winner immediately. Have you seen this working in games? Yeah. No. Nobody's doing that. So, okay. Let me just close this. So, I mean, like,
and also like AI Facebook guy.
I know a thing or two about this, so it's good. It's good. No, but it's very interesting because again, if you ask anyone in the gaming space, are you working with like Instagram Marketplace? There is an Instagram Marketplace thing. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, and if you post like a ton of videos on TikTok, you post 100 videos a day, you can see which one takes off, and then you don't waste your advertising budget. You take the 2 or 3 that work really well, you scale, you go all in, and you pre-qualify your creatives.
Exactly, creative testing. You just do it on TikTok, and you can literally do it like on a daily basis, like tens of videos if you have them. And then you see, oh, this one got like 2 million views. Thank you very much. Let's put it in the UA. That's it. That's all you need. Which is, I mean, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You first did the video with 2 million views.
Yeah. But you don't need like high production quality. Like from my experience, over and over and over again, when I see something that I think is going to work really well, it never works. It's always like the shitty stuff with the weird lighting and weird noises. And
ugly ads.
Ugly ads work so well. They always overperform everything that I expected. And the same, like when TikTok first came, and I was doing a course on TikTok, and I was like, to publish the course, I need to grow my own account to show. And so I grew my account, and I posted 10 videos a day for 3 months, grew to like 30,000 followers. And then about 3 or 4 videos had 1 million views. And it's like the stupidest, silliest things that you would not expect.
Of course. Random stuff. I mean, not so random though, but still like anything that looks really native and people can relate. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. It's got to look like it's a video from your friend, not a polished advertising. Something I've seen that it seems like a lot of the Asian markets, the more polished stuff perform better. But in general, like the Western world is just the more unhinged you are, the better.
Yeah. Suits me really well. That's really well. No, it's good. So, anything else should we cover? Because I think this was pretty good.
Pretty good episode. Bending Spoons, very inspiring app company. Yeah. I think the next one we're going to do in the series is probably going to be Codeway, and we might or might not have a special guest joining us for that one as well. But yeah, more to come on that in the future. So this has been another amazing episode of the 2.5 Gamers podcast with special guest Darius joining us to let us give some insights into the app industry. Don't forget to join our Slack group if you want to ask any questions. And I'm sure, Darius, anywhere people can get in touch with you if they have any questions about apps?
Yeah, the best way will be on YouTube. I'll make a video every week telling people what we discuss, but I share my experience. So I'll run a bunch of tests every week, new apps. We publish about one new app a week, paywall tests, optimization tests, and then I share everything on YouTube, like step by step. So you go to Darius Mora on YouTube. Or if you're serious about the app business, you want to dive in, I do have a paid community on school.com/app success. If you guys are serious and want to join a community of active builders where I show like really all the behind the scenes, all the secrets.
Nice. We'll put the links in the show notes as well, so everybody can join. Maybe I will join as well.
Yeah,
I'm interested in space.
Welcome.
Let's call it that.
We also do a live call there every week where actually I look at the trending keywords, I share my screen, and I tell the guys, look, at these 3-5 are top trending this week. Go build apps for it because there's an opportunity this week. And we do this every week.
That's nice.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Darius.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for having the time.
Perfect. Thank you guys for listening. See you next time. Please comment under the episode. And as Felix said, we actually got pretty good feedback for the previous Genesis episode, and people are looking forward to hear about bending spoons. So thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.